All right, we are back on NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Still reeling from what we saw at the top of the hour. We thought we were going to have a Heritage title matchup. The rightful #1 contenders, the RockNES Monsters, coming out saying tonight was going to be the night. They were jumped by the Cutlers, and now here conveniently come the champions.
Punctuality is not once one of the virtues of natural selection. They didn't become champions by being on time, and by being a couple minutes late, they missed.
The RockNES comes out here and whines and cries week after week after week, and finally, when they get the opportunity, they're nowhere to be found. And natural selection isn't one to turn down a challenge. We came out here looking to defend these titles against RockNES.
In a second here comes Todd Chandler and Brandon Parker. Young Hollywood, always willing to step up to the challenge. Are they stepping up to the plate here? Are they taking the place of the RockNES Monsters?
Well, we saw them beat the champions a couple weeks ago. Wasn't for the titles, wasn't the way they wanted the match to end, but they still retained their undefeated streak. Young Hollywood squaring off with the champions.
I hope you kids wrote a real nice letter home to your mommies telling them about how you got to put a W in the win-loss column against natural selection. Because a couple of weeks ago you score a count-out victory because your little buddies out here, the RockNES Monsters. But let me tell you something. We take care of one, we take care of two. You see, you guys, if you want to step up and get your little skinny asses crushed in this ring tonight, it's done. And it's not an insult, it's a fact of life.
Well, Shaun Ricker touched on it. Chandler and Parker did score a count-out victory over the champions, so they've got some momentum in their favor. And I guess we're going to have a matchup here to open things up. Not the matchup we expected. And I gotta hope that we get some sort of update on the condition of the RockNES Monsters. Excalibur, they were carried out here after that attack, unprovoked attack by the Cutlers.
It was unprovoked, but it was with complete malice and just bad intentions all around by the Cutler brothers. They wanted to make a statement in their debut, and they did exactly that. The #1 contenders have just been completely dismantled. But right now, we've got the last team to score a win over natural selection. Young Hollywood in here challenging for the titles tonight in this impromptu match.
Again, to clarify, it was a count-out victory, but a victory nonetheless. Double team maneuver here.
They call that bad in plaid.
All right.
Right now, Todd Chandler is going to be bad in black and blue after that huge discus lariat by Brian Cage.
Cage turned him inside out there. Had had enough of Young Hollywood, and now the momentum in the favor of the champions. And once they get rolling, very hard to fight from underneath against Ricker and Cage.
They're like a runaway truck coming downhill. It's impossible to stop. I mean, you can just only get out of the way, and that's what Young Hollywood is going to have to do. They're going to have to use their speed, use their agility to be able to evade these high-powered offense of Cage and Rickers. They're going to have to do everything they can to out-quick and to outthink the champions if they have any hope of putting another victory, and this time perhaps the titles around their waists.
Well, and Ricker and Cage, you got to think that they're prepared, although they weren't prepared specifically to face Parker and Chandler. They're prepared to face this type of a team because, again, the RockNES Monsters, the #1 contenders, very similar in style to Parker and Chandler. So Ricker and Cage really know how to neutralize the quicker, high-flying team with vicious strikes like they're doing right here.
It's pretty odd similarities or eerie similarities between Young Hollywood and the RockNES Monsters and tag team champions Natural Selection and the Cutler Brothers. If you've never seen the Cutler Brothers wrestle before, very similar, very reminiscent of Natural Selection. All power. And so, I mean, it's speed and agility versus power in the ring, but I mean, with the Cutler Brothers looming on the horizon.
Here's the cover here. Hold on 1 second. Ricker to the cover in, just toying with his opponent. You talk about seeing the Cutlers wrestle. I would love to see the Cutler Brothers wrestle on this program. You know who didn't see him coming was the RockNES Monsters. Why do they have to attack from behind if they're as good as you say?
Well, you know, that's a question only answered by the Cutler Brothers. I'm not sure what their thinking is, but if I had to guess, they wanted to make a statement. They want to put themselves on the map. They want to put themselves as close to being in the title picture of the NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood without actually having a match. And I mean, they made an emphatic statement with that attack. But, you know, I mean, depending on how things go, we could have new champions, but it's not looking like it as we see the great teamwork showed up by Natural Selection, that double suplex, and Brandon Parker being taken off the apron, knocked to the ring barrier, and striking his head on the top of the barrier. Parker looks a little bit rattled, just as does Chandler.
Series of pin attempts there by Cage, and now full mount, ground and pound, just hammering away on Chandler.
Laying in those right hands to the head, to the temple of Todd Chandler. Chandler tried his best to cover up, but when Cage is throwing those hard shots at you and throwing you into the corner as hard as he did right there, Todd Chandler, all he could do was just go down in a heap. Now being muscled up, we see Ricker just picking Chandler up like he's just like a pillow and setting him up on the top rope. Chandler doing his best to fight out of it.
And he does. Nice counter there by Chandler, but can he capitalize? Look at that balance, but shrugs him off again. Now perched, Todd Chandler flying, but nobody home for the crossbody.
We talked about how trying to get out of the way of the runaway truck. Shaun Rickers was actually the one that got out of the way that time. Todd Chandler dove with that beautiful desperation crossbody, but nobody was home, and now the ball still in the court of the champions. Natural Selection going to work, just completely dismantling Todd Chandler. And you know, you think about the last time these two teams met, it was Brandon Parker that was in there for the majority of the match, taking the punishment, and Todd Chandler that was on the apron.
So close and yet so far. Chandler outstretched, trying to get to his partner, but too much strength there just caught him, did Cage, and drops him down to the canvas again, cutting off the ring. They are the champions for a reason.
This is, we talk about Austin Aries' ruthless efficiency. Natural Selection, they're just ruthless. I mean, they are completely dismantling Chandler. I mean, they've had him in there for a long time, and I mean, he is dazed. He knows just one thing right now: make it to the friendly corner, get the fresh man in the ring, or else this match, this title shot that they have right now, is just going to end badly for Young Hollywood.
Well, the champs right now in firm control. Cage drops him down into the cover. Is that going to do it? No. Folks, we got to take a break. Tag team action continues right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, brought to you by the National Wrestling Alliance. He calls that the DTB, high elevation on that maneuver. And again, all throughout the break, and it continues now, the Heritage Tag Team Champions have been in firm control of this impromptu tag team matchup.
Todd Chandler has been getting a beating of a lifetime. I mean, he's getting beaten like he took the pie off of somebody's windowsill. I'm not sure if that type of quaint thing still happens in Hollywood where these boys are from, but I mean, he is getting a beating that he won't soon forget. And Brandon Parker, he's just been helpless. He's been reaching out, trying to cheer on his tag team partner, trying to get into the ring, trying to bring his team back into this match. But Natural Selection has just had Todd Chandler completely isolated, and they are simply toying with this beaten and broken man.
Again, I love the guts of Young Hollywood, but is it going to come back to cost him here? Nice misdirection. Hold on. Roll up. 2. Yes. They got him. They got him. Unbelievable.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, the team
Todd Kennerly. We have new tag team champions.
Hey, they're going to steal a little more than a pie off a windowsill. They might just take the tag team titles.
Young Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen, your new tag team champions here in NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
How sweet it is. Unbelievable dreams do come true. They've got the gold.
I was counting Todd Chandler out, but he came away with a huge pinfall victory.
No. Not once did we ever see those titles go on the line.
We had one challenger tonight. They went down. You guys came out. You volunteered. You're not the #1 contenders. You don't get shots at the title. You can get a little fluke victory, but you're not champions. The title's never on the line, you dummies.
Natural Selection saying the titles were not on the line. This was just a run-of-the-mill tag team match.
Well, David Marquez and the official now confirming it was not sanctioned as a title match. What a loophole.
A disgusting loophole for Young Hollywood. However, they did score a pinfall victory over
Ladies
the
and gentlemen, still NWA Heritage
They have
Tag Team
retained
Champions,
their undefeated
Nati
streak.
Selection.
I mean, even though the RockNES Monsters are the #1 contenders, that's got to make Young Hollywood second in line for the Tag Team Championship.
Hello everyone, standing by